Season 2, Episode 6, Canva plus Mote, Design with Voice, with Lois Alston, Alex Isaacs, and Jon Neale. But first, a word from our sponsors. TeacherGoals and Teach Your Heart Out is sponsoring a 2023 Bahamas cruise open to all educators. Guests such as spouses, family, and friends are also welcome to attend. There is an amazing lineup of speakers, and you can book your PD at sea now by putting down a $200 deposit. Attend the Sail Away Party Thursday, July 6th in Port Canaveral at 6 p.m. in preparation for Cruising Friday. You will return Monday, July 10th at 8 a.m. Scan the QR code now to sign up. You don't want to miss it. The TeacherGoals Tech Talk Tuesday will begin in 23 seconds. Would you like to find out more information on sponsoring our live stream? Email sponsorships at teachergoals.com. Without further ado, let's start the show. Welcome to the Teacher Tech Talk Tuesday, Hitchhiker's Guide for Educators. Heather Brown and I are here with Jon Neale from Mote and educators Lois Alston and Alex Isaacs to share motivational strategies to using Mote and voice design in your Canva creations and really in all your creations. So let's go ahead and bring Jon up.
Come on up, Jon. Let's hear some more about Mote.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you for joining us. So can you tell our viewers who are not familiar with Mote just what Mote is and the function of it and how it works?
Of course. It'll be a pleasure. And I should say to your viewers as well that I'm a former educator myself, so really proud of that. And it's great to be able to share a tool that I believe does have use in classrooms across the world. So if anyone is unfamiliar with Mote, we are primarily a Chrome extension that allows for super easy integration of voice throughout Google's ecosystem. So we've found some use cases for feedback to really help to build connection. So there's, rather than worrying about the tone of your messaging when you're relaying your subject knowledge to students, they can really get to grips with that voice. We've seen some great examples of language learning to help build connection amongst the wider community. There really is a whole raft of ways that we've seen voice used in some really creative ways, as I say, across the world in our Mote community.
Awesome. So as you know, Mote is one of the sponsors for this podcast. So I hope you love the excellent sponsor video of what Mote is and how it works. And Jon, when did you start working for Mote and like what made you shift from educator to more of the ed tech?
That's a great question. So that for me happened towards the tail end of 2020. 2020 was a year that for all of us saw lots and lots of change. And for me, I'd been in my role as, over here it was called a digital leader, but I know in the US you'd be more familiar with a name like a tech integrator, or it was kind of tech integrator / tech director. So, but one thing that I've always held true, Amanda, is to try to make sure that whatever tool I was sharing, be it Mote or otherwise, or even digital or otherwise, is making sure that there was a real purpose to the way that it was being shared, that it wasn't something that I've just seen from my network on Twitter, but something that actually had a value. And I came across Mote very early in the stages of lockdown. Mote only launched, by the way, in March of 2020. So it was a happy coincidence that at a time when connection and particularly through voice was missing, that Mote was a tool that was miraculously launched. So I fell in love with it as a means through which I was able to communicate with my own students and also with the parents at home. And Mote's team was quite small and still is quite small. We're only a team of 10. And the opportunity came to make some content for them to help work with the team, which I'm still doing now, to try to be that voice of educators, listening to conversations that are being held and trying to make sure that we stay as true as we can to those values about making sure that we put educators and learning communities at the forefront of all that we try and do when we're looking to launch features.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very important that educators understand the tech and how to use it, but also the pedagogy behind it and making sure it's purposeful and it enhances instruction. versus just for a fad. And we've got some excellent examples from educators today. And Heather, we're going to start with you. You have your fossil Canva design. So if you want to go ahead and bring that up.
Give me 1 second to make sure I'm actually sharing it, because we know how that happens sometimes. Okay, do you see my screen?
I do. Beautiful.
Perfect. Okay, so you can see here my fossil hunt activity. Okay, and originally I did not have voice instructions on here, but thinking back, realistically, I made this for lower elementary to middle elementary students. And thinking back to when I taught 1st and 3rd grade, a lot of times the students don't remember the directions, or some of them can't read the directions. So I added Mote to this one that will read them the directions. And all they have to do is click.
Awesome. So you're reading the instructions there.
Yes. And then what I like is those students who might struggle with typing, where it takes forever, or maybe they're young enough that they're not confident in their writing. When they come down here at the What I Know, they can use their own Mote extension and write about the dinosaur. So if I move this dirt, I have to excavate my fossils here. They can write. Yes, it is. They can write or speak about what they know about that dinosaur. And then each one of these is a different dinosaur of some type. And then at the end, there's actually an ed puzzle embedded right in for the students to watch. I don't know why it's not showing up, but I promise it is there. There it is. And then the students can go back and add more information based on what they learned from the ed puzzle.
Nice.
So not only do they get to hear my voice, but I can also hear their voice if they choose to do it that way.
And for those of you watching, we haven't went into how to add a Mote. That's coming. So keep watching, and you guys will be armed with every way you can add Mote to your designs. So next we have Lois Alston, who's amazing. And if you want to kind of talk a little bit about yourself and what you're sharing today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lois Alston. I'm an instructional technology coach in Long Branch, New Jersey. I'm starting my 6th year in this role, and I was a math teacher for 15 years before that. So for last year, Neil Mastriani, who is the other tech partner, him and I have put together a digital newsletter called the EdTech Wave. And right now I'm going to share with you, we revamped it. And this year, we made it on Canva, and now it's called LB Tech Takeaways. So with this one-page hub that I'm really excited about, so this is the first time that anyone's seeing it. By the end of this week, our goal is to have it pushed out to all the educators in our school district, and as well as on Twitter. But this right here, the one-page hub, we have our Mote as our tech tool of the month. Just a side note, last year when we started the digital newsletter, Mote was also our tech platform that we promoted in September. And we're bringing it back again this year because of all the amazing features and updates that it just really is a great platform to start off and to kick off. So here you will see each month is going to be very similar with the 4 squares. And all these PNGs have links that will take you to a resource collection through Wakelet right up here in the EdTech archive. So these are all the platforms and tools that we promoted last year, where all educators are able to now be able to still have more insight by clicking on each of these, and it'll take them to a Wakelet collection. Down below here is our tech corner that we have with, again, buttons that will take them to certain links. And then we also have an EdTech update for each month. So depending on the updates for different platforms, we are going to highlight certain ones. And then there's always going to be that Mote message each month to explain, in this case here, what this hub is all about, since it's going to be brand new for my school district. So this Mote message I have here, I'm explaining about each of these 4 squares, and then also just what to expect. And then when they click on here on this Mote icon, it will take them right here to this Wakelet collection. So I took all the notes that I had last year on a Google document, and then I created a Wakelet collection to really showcase and to have it more streamlined for any educator that's learning about Mote that wants to use it. So right here, I have, as I scroll on down, I have a column for all about Mote. And of course, I have to have a Mote message to explain this Wakelet collection. So I embedded a Mote player right here that talks about this collection and how they can navigate through it. And then as I keep scrolling down, I have just different facts about Mote, ways. Oops, it's a little glitchy here. Okay, there we go. Ways of how to use Mote. So everything is right here for them. Also, on the other columns, I have how to get started with a video. And then also, if they are looking to become a certified Mote educator and then eventually a Mote ambassador, I have everything right here to help any teacher that's looking to earn a badge and to earn certificates and to really promote and use Mote in their classroom. And then I have the 3 columns here, how they can use Mote, how it's integrated with Canva. And then I have templates and ideas, which I'm going to show on one, as well as how to use Mote with Wakelet, and then, of course, with Google. So with Canva right here, Alex and I have put together our templates that we've either created separately or together, and we have everything right here. And as you can see, all these templates, if they click on it, they're able to remix it and make it their own. And some of these templates we have is from MoteCon that we had shared out. So if I scroll right through, we have our meaningful mornings with Mote, using that in the morning meetings, as well as last year we came up with the Mote and Canva SEL room that Alex and I are really proud of putting together with Mote messages for educators and students. And then there's more as we go down here. So as I go through this, I was working with some classes last week for their back to school night. And for their back to school night, one of the Mote and Canva integration was this template right here that I designed on Canva. And so Alex and I had put this together. And when I went into the classes, I took the original template and I made it to fit my school district for Long Branch. And so here, as you can see, what the students had to do was they took a picture with their Chromebooks, they took a selfie, and then they left a Mote QR Mote message for their parents for back to school night. And then right here, this line paper, this was printed out by their teacher. The line paper was for their parent to leave a message back to their child and left it on the desk. So that way, when the child came back the next morning for class, that was left right there and then they can bring it home. So it was a nice added touch and the kids really enjoyed it. Some had used Mote last year, and then there were other students that never used Mote before. So it was their first time learning how to use Mote and also how to create a QR Mote as well. And then also how to bring it right into a Canva template. So I do want to share this one, Jaziel right here. He did a great job just to give you an idea of what this was like for a parent coming into back to school night. So I have right here, this is his 26-second response.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hola, Mama. Hola, Papa. Welcome to my 5th grade class with Miss Barrett and Miss Stiles. For the first week of school, we worked on our daily 5 and math boxes and our math journals. We also had a spelling test to see how good we are in spelling. My Lexile score went up so much. I hope you like my classes and my teachers. P.S. They are the best. Bye. Love you.
Oh, my teachers are the best. That is so sweet. I would love that.
I loved it. Yeah, so this was great listening to these. And again, this sparked from last year when my son was in 5th grade. This is a 5th grade student right here. And I remember there was a letter from my son, Max, and then I had to write a letter back. And I was thinking before school started, well, how great would it be if I can listen and hear my son talk about the start of the school year and what he's excited about. And so the parents, the feedback that we got back from the back to school night last week, the teacher said that it was a big hit. The parents loved the Canva template, and they love the Mote message from their child that they're able to keep at home. So it just makes the back to school night a little bit more extra special.
And that really helps promote that homeschool communication as well. I really like that.
Thank you. So that was our big thing right here. And I'm looking forward to using Mote with Canva, like I said, throughout my newsletter each month. Every month there will be that Mote message. So be on the lookout when I tweet it out. Again, there will be that message and the link that people can actually use and have these resources available for them.
And I'm dropping the links to Lois's templates in the chat. So make sure you check the chat. You have access to those. And John, we have some sort of giveaway today. Like what's
we absolutely do. I just want to say, Lois, as always, thank you so much. I'm kind of watching with absolute fascination and amazement with all of those wonderful ideas that you so regularly share. So thank you for that. I was taking notes. Yeah, we are, Amanda. So I'm going to be sharing a Google form out, which will give anyone that completes the form a complimentary 2 months of bonus access to our premium tier, which is called Mote Unlimited. And not only that, but they will be entered into a prize draw for some amazing Mote merch. I've got it on very good authority that there will be multiple winners. So, so I would definitely suggest putting your name in for that. And I'd also love to hear how people get on, especially if they're new to Mote. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, and just real quick. So tell me about the paid versus the freemium. So the freemium gives you 30 seconds.
That's right. Yeah. So we have 2 tiers. We have the free tier, which you can still access just through the Chrome Web Store. You can access the extension, and you can record up to 20 voice notes per month, and you are capped at 30 seconds for each of those voice notes. And then when you move on to the premium tier, Mote Unlimited, you can, as its name suggests, you can create unlimited voice notes, and they also allow up to 3 minutes of recording time. In addition to that, you can add transcription, translation, you can save and reuse your voice notes. You can create all sorts of cool things with them. So I would definitely recommend when you do get that first month, and when you're going through those bonus months, that you explore those features, jump onto our various community pages. Lois spoke to a couple of those, Mote Certified Educator and the Ambassador community, but we also have quite an active Facebook group. So just head over there, look at the kind of stuff that people are sharing and talking about. As always, teachers love to share ideas wherever you're from. So don't be afraid to reach out and connect with other teachers. And also with the team at Mote, we would also love to support you in your quest to leverage voice.
One thing I can say is John and Mote is very responsive to educator requests and then also communications. So you can reach out to him on Twitter. John, you actually run the Twitter Mote.
I do amazingly. Yeah. So I do apologize for any of the poor jokes or GIFs that you might see that come out on the Mote Twitter or on the TikTok channel. If you see any of those and you think, oh my goodness, that's a bit of a British sense of humor, that's because it is a Brit who is the one who is. But I do really enjoy that, Amanda, and I think that that's such an important part of when you are an ed tech company, that it's much more than just being a tech company. You know, that the engagement with the educational community and trying to have a genuine empathy and appreciation for what teachers and their learners and the parents and the school admin, trying to understand those pain points. And even with a team as small as ours and with a tool which is, you know, sits as a small Chrome extension, we always do listen. And just as you say, we do try to be as responsive as we possibly can be. We actually, to that end, we have coming out this week, unfortunately it's not quite ready yet, but we have a really exciting new feature that will allow people to record voice notes from the browser itself. But don't tell anyone, because that isn't live yet. But yeah.
Oh, but
It's our little secret.
The cat's out the bag. So again, that swag to enter to win, I'm dropping the link in the chat. So be sure that you register. There will be multiple winners. And if you're wondering, okay, so we've got all these examples of how to use Mote, like now what are the technical specs? I'm going to bring up Alex Isaacs, and he's going to share a wonderful template that he's created and then do a little bit of a demo So, so you know how to actually add the Mote notes to a design. So Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Amanda, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Excited to be here for a second time on your Canva classroom. Excited to be following such great guests, such great people in ed tech. And I only hope to do a good enough job where hopefully in season 3, I get invited back for another great session here. But I've been using Mote for almost about 2 years now. It's a platform that I might be most passionate about. I'm currently in my classroom at Red Bank Middle School where I have multiple bilingual learners in my classes. So I'm always making my material as accessible as possible. And when I tell you that Mote is possibly the best platform in order to do so, I mean it. I'm extremely passionate about using Mote on a near daily basis. I use it in my personal life for sending messages to students who I tutor. I'm using it in my virtual classrooms. And this year, I've really tried to make a push to get my students to use it. So I'm going to share some of the absolutely stellar creations that my students made for the beginning of the school year with a Getting to Know You activity. And then I'm going to share a Halloween template for a virtual landing page and a digital agenda that is in the collection, the Wakelet collection that Lois shared previously. So
and that link again is in the chat. So you have access to everything we're sharing. Be sure to explore all these wonderful resources that are created by these outstanding educators. So,
well, thank you so much. And absolutely, we would encourage you to check this out, especially our Mote collection on Wakelet. It's got things for all different points throughout the school year. So Lois and I were lucky enough to present at MoteCon. It was a very special instance for me whenever I get a chance to present with my partner. It was, Jon did such an amazing job leading that event, where we created one of our templates was a Getting to Know You activity or a Getting to Mote You activity, where we created our cover images on Canva. We brought it into a Wakelet collection, and then we were offering different types of options for our students in order to let them share more about who they are. So we had it where we had a picture of our students. We had it where they were, pronouncing their name for us so that we made sure to get that right, any meaning behind their name, what they're passionate about,
yes.
a SMART goal that they created, and then an interesting fun fact. I'm sorry, Amanda, go ahead.
Oh, no, just like that name pronunciation is so important. And I know I had students using Flipgrid to pronounce their name, but like Mote is such a great alternative tool. And going back to that universal design for learning and pulling in accessibility and making sure, our struggling readers or our bilingual students have access to pronunciations and voice instructions. So
absolutely. And what I like about Mote is you're not on camera, obviously. So while you can do that on Flip, the ease of use that the Mote extension provides, which I'll provide a brief demo at the end, it's just above and beyond just a really amazing platform to get your point across to students and really form that homeschool connection. So this was the template that Lois and I created. And then I pushed this out to each of my 3 classes. And I told my groups I was going to be in a Canva classroom today with Amanda Fox. I showed them the graphic today up on my screen. I said, I hope you'll watch, because I'm going to be highlighting 5 of my favorite responses that incorporated Motes and just did an absolutely amazing job. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show these 5. I'm just going to kind of show you what you could do in your class and kind of my rationale behind why we did this. So I'm going to start with Juliet in block 2, who did all of these cover images were done with Canva. So we're on the Canva classroom. We're talking about Mote. We're going to show you Canva, Mote, and Wakelet all in one space in an amazing, aesthetically pleasing way. So Juliet did a stellar job with her cover image. And then down below, you could see she posted a picture of herself, any significance behind her name. She shared her passions, and then she dropped a voice Mote in as easy as anything. And for me, I've had students in previous years, whether it be as a result of the virtual instruction or otherwise, be really reticent to share their voice, to want to participate in types of activities like this. Well, I'm just so pleased to say that my students this year at Red Bank Middle School did an absolutely amazing job. I got to give a shout out to Stephen as well, who has total goals of becoming a YouTuber, loves to travel. You can see how nicely these Mote players look in these Wakelet collections, where if I hit play.
My true passion to do in life is to travel.
Now, I love the fact that he has a Muhammad Ali as his avatar standing over Joe Frazier. And now I can leave a thumbs up on that. And I already complimented Stephen, telling him I hope that he achieves his goal of becoming a YouTuber, getting more travel in. I have my man Chris in block 2 as well, who's very much into fencing. So he kind of did a cover image that relates to that. But then again, he's talking to me about how passionate he is about eating crab meat and also providing those Mote messages that offer that little bit of an extra explanation that allow me to better get to know my students. Because at this point for me, it's about forming relationships with my students, making them feel cared for. And what better way to get to know my students in a very easy collection where I'm hearing their voice, I'm hearing their intonation, I'm hearing their passion for all of these different things that they enjoy doing. Natalie in my block 3 also did an amazing job. I love her choice of cover image that, again, was made in Canva. I scroll down below. I mean, I wasn't forcing kids to do multiple motes. I wanted them to do 1 or 2. And these individuals went above and beyond, and I could not be more proud of my students. And last but not least, I want to share one by Elizabeth, who's doing a stellar job in my math class. You can see she's dropping the deuces on everybody on the left side. And then I just want to briefly share what she's just really passionate about and enjoys.
A fun fact about me is that I am obsessed with Paris. Ever since second grade, when my second grade teacher, Miss Feistel, talked about Paris, ever since then, I've been obsessed with Paris. My whole room is actually Paris, too. That's my fun fact.
So as you can see, you know, Elizabeth did an amazing job. I now know she's into Paris. I can talk about Parisian delights. And have I been to Paris? I have not. I've lived a very sheltered life, so not a lot of travel for me. But I'm so proud of these students who went above and beyond and took that extra care to really make something amazing. Another fun fact about Elizabeth, she's very passionate about her schoolwork. She's a member of the National Junior Honor Society, run by a math teacher, Kathy Kansky, at my school, and she's also very passionate about her family. So it was really just a thrill for me to get to know my students in this way and have Mote be used by them. I love using Mote. I'm trying to instill that love for using Mote with them as well. Now, the last thing that I'm going to share is something that is brand new just for you, Amanda, and John, and Heather, and Lois. I was working on this.
I love it.
So, you know, this is my interpretation of a math virtual classroom, but this is a template that is also in that Waco collection that Lois shared. And for me, I hope that people are remixing this all over the place. I provided you PNGs to all the platforms that I use the most. And the Mote icon is actually going to take you to a link to the website where it's my referral code for being an ambassador that will get you additional unlimited time if you're not already a member. So if you read the directions up there, some of the icons bring you to different things. John, I did swipe the Mote pumpkin icon from last year.
You're welcome.
I love it.
So, and this cauldron is actually going to bring you to a math extension activity for a gross looking yet very fun guacamole recipe for students, where it's actually also a math extension if you want to use that around Halloween time. But what I am going to show you is that any space that I'm providing, whether it be a template or something for my students, I am including a Mote note. I created that laptop Mote note player in Canva. And what that audio player does in this case is it simply describes the space, what you have available to you, and things along those lines. But if I go to the next slide, I'm coming up with This Week in Mote. So this is a digital agenda that I use. I kind of tweaked it to make it a little bit more simple, where underneath I'm providing weekly updates to my parents and guardians of my students, where it's bringing them to either school events or my Twitter page or something along those lines. Up top, I'm providing what we're actually doing in math class. And then I love the idea, which I've actually been using this year. I've been pushing out weekly Mote messages to my students and their families via Remind. But I'm going to very briefly show you how to bring in a Mote audio player into this. It's very easy. All you got to do is click on the extension once it's installed, and I'm going to record a very brief voice Mote. I'm absolutely thrilled with how the Canva classroom is going so far today. I have yet to make a fool out of myself. All you have to do is click the check mark there. You're going to click that up arrow with the square, go copy link, go back into your Canva, go to embeds, and then you're just going to paste that link right in. And then it's going to go add to design, and I've got my fingers crossed that this comes out properly. And then all you're going to have to do is simply resize it, and you're going to be able to drop that in. So there it is. And now, considering I'm on a teacher account, you'll get a transcript. So going back to that, you know, the population that I'm currently teaching, which is multiple bilingual learners, the ability to translate you know, a written transcription in real time has been such a game changer for me, for my students and their families. So I can't share enough. I'm screaming it from the mountaintops just how much this very simple to use platform has done for me in my math class. And I've used it for so much more. You know, Amanda, we were lucky enough to connect when you were nice enough to include my Mote certificate template inside your book, The Canva Classroom. So this is something that it's just so easy to use. You can use QR modes. And as you saw with that live demo, dropping in a Mote message audio player to anything on Canva is extremely simple and very easy to use. And it just looks great. So I would encourage anybody listening right now, get the extension, look through the learning zone, or, you know, watch John's excellent brief videos that are not long and drawn out. They really get you a sense of how to use the platform and hit the ground running quickly with Mote. But more than anything, I'm hopeful to see people on Twitter using this landing page, making it their own. And as always, Amanda, it's just an absolute thrill to be a part of this. And thank you for letting me get this platform to share all about Mote and how passionate I am for the platform.
Oh, thank you. So I'm sharing the links to the templates. So definitely remix this for your students. And again, there are examples of how to use Mote in the Canva classroom. If you are a Canva noob, intermediate, or advanced, there are templates in here for you. Check out our Mote section in the book and Alex's example of how to use it for student certificates. So you can check that out in the book. So thank you.
Thank you.
Gonna remove that. And I have one more thing to share. I'm excited. Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out, and I don't know about you guys, but that was you know, me growing up. I remember going to the theaters to see Hocus Pocus. My uncle took me, and I loved it. So Hocus Pocus 2, like, I'm scheduling a big party with my kids. We're doing themed out like foods and stuff like that, and we're gonna have a big basement party watching Hocus Pocus 2. So here is a Hocus Pocus themed reading room. So over the weekend, I actually hand drew all of the witches in Procreate. I started out with a Bitmoji basic, and I tried to get them in kind of in Bitmoji, exported those, and then came on top in Procreate and really customized the witches to look like the Sanderson sisters. So in this reading room, I've used Mote. Number one, you can't really have like a Hocus Pocus theme reading room without the theme music. Got to set the mood, and it's good to read to. It's like that good background reading music. Okay. And then, if you notice, I have instructions here. Which are click on the Mote Note book summaries, and then click on the book to watch the story read to you. So all of the Mote notes here are just summaries of the book. So students or early readers can listen to a summary of these 10 books and figure out which one they want to have read aloud to them. So clicking on the first one, Room on the Broom. Into the sky on a broomstick when the wind picks up and blows away the witch's hat, then her bow, and then her wand. Luckily, 3 helpful animals find the missing items, and all they want in return is a ride on the broom. But is there enough room on the broom for so many friends? And when disaster strikes, will they be able to save the witch from a hunger? So each of these have a summary of the book, and then if you click on the actual book, all of the books are linked out to a YouTube video of a read aloud, whether it's Ani Storytime or Storytime Tellers. They've been vetted. The YouTube videos have been vetted, so you don't have to go and find them. And this is a nice 10-day collection of read aloud students can do. And then, of course, it wouldn't be complete without this soundbite. Book, where are you? And it just kind of goes through all of her screaming for book. So because this is a reading room, the soundbite from the show, it kind of contextualizes it in. And then again, students can pick the book that they think is what they want to read. I'm going to go ahead and give a plug for Pumpkin Jack, because Pumpkin Jack is a great STEM read. It talks about the life cycle of a pumpkin. So after the jack-o'-lantern begins to break down just the life cycle after that, and how in springtime a new pumpkin or a flower kind of sprouts up from that. So new life from the old pumpkin. And again, Alex showed how easy it is to add a Mote design. I have the freemium. So here's mine. And again, you just click here. You record. If you mess up, you can hit cancel. Lord knows I messed up a lot. You can also hit pause. Like if you're gathering your thoughts, hit play again. And when you click yes, it creates that, again, the up button, copy. And then to generate the QR code, you just simply hit QR code if you're doing a print document, and then you can save that and import it into your design. All right, so that template will be shared with you. Feel free to take out the books and leave the witches and make your own virtual classroom or any kind of hocus pocus digital breakout. Whatever you're inspired to create, this template is yours to do that with.
I love it, Amanda. I think it looks great.
That's
Love
amazing.
that you're doing music recordings in the background. I think that's awesome.
It's so inviting. That's what I love about it too. It's very inviting. It's very just detailed with everything. Same with yours, Alex. Both of you have like just very detailed and using the Mote messages right inside. I mean, you can't get two better things together with the Mote and the Canva app smashing them together. It's awesome.
Exactly. And then take it a step further and app smash it with Wakelet like you guys are doing. And again, those links are dropped. So if you're a noob to Wakelet, you guys have done a great idea at compiling like where to get started and different use cases that are entrenched in sound pedagogical strategies. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Again, I'm dropping that link to that Google form to be entered into that raffle for some Mote swag. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to enter it 5 times. So
You're welcome to, Amanda.
No, I'm teasing. I will not be entering it. It's only for the viewers. So hopefully, we'll notify the winners. And John, how are we going to notify our winners?
We will do that so as part of the form, they actually submit their email address. So I'll reach out to them individually. But of course, if they want to share that across socials, and Alex did actually inspire me there with the Mote pumpkin there. I may actually see if we can get our hands on some Mote Halloween themed merch. Could be good. And I'm actually gonna try to get my hands on a copy of Pumpkin Jack as well. So thank you for that recommendation, Amanda.
It's amazing. So I plan on this year with my kids, after we carve our jack-o'-lanterns, we're going to read Pumpkin Jack, and we're going to have our science project going on with the pumpkins. Although my husband's not going to let me have a rotting pumpkin on my porch for too long. So we're going to have to find a place for that.
The squirrels will get to it.
Yeah. Squirrels. All right. So thank you guys for joining us, and make sure you tune in next week. We have another amazing guest. Again, this is our Teacher Goals Tuesday Tech Talk with the Hitchhiker's Guide for Educators. Thank you, Lois, Alex, and John. Now you guys go get your Mote on.
Thank you so much for having us, Amanda. And John, it's always great to see you too.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Amanda. Cheers, Alex. Thanks, Lois.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Good to see everybody.
Courses by TeacherGoals. Register now for the Canva Classroom.